Welcome back to the 2017 FIM CEV Repsol. We're live here from Estoril in Portugal, our second overseas trip of the season. You can see the fans are flocking in to the circuit. It's been one of the best attended events we've had so far this season. And now it's time for the big one, the Moto3 Junior World Championship. What a race this is set to be. Normally we're used to having 2 races this season, but we've only been treated to the 1 here this weekend, which we're not too disappointed about at all, because it often produces good racing. And this is the circuit these riders will be competing on. 17 laps at the Estoril track. It's running a clockwise layout, just over 4.182 kilometres, 4 left-hand turns and 9 right-hand corners. Tight and twisty in some sections, nice and fast and flowing in others. So a good mix and some good overtaking is what we've seen throughout the course of the weekend so far. And in Moto3, you can guarantee it's going to be anything but predictable. So we're very excited for this. As you can see, team members on the grid. Riders will be making their way to the grid order. Just to refresh your memory, last time, of course, in Valencia, it was a very interesting affair with Dennis Foggia doing the double, dominating the weekend. 3.8 seconds was the victory he took in the first race, and over 2 seconds was his advantage in the second race. The race, though, was marred by a couple of crashes that we had. The likes of Dan Jones, of course, he had a big crash in the final corner at Valencia as well. Ended up taking out Charlie Nesbitt. That was in race number 2. Rory Skinner also had a crash with Jari Montella on lap 9. And it was a very, very interesting affair. And also Aleix Vieux as well. He had a difficult weekend. But it's a complete different running order we've had so far for this weekend, as we can see the riders and the teams making their way to the grid in terms of qualifying, because a man we didn't necessarily expect to take pole position, perhaps we wildly underestimated him, was Raul Fernandez. Raul Fernandez taking his first pole of the season, and I believe his first pole since 2016 in Valencia. I think he was on pole position there. So
for the last round.
For the last round, exactly, where he took his first and so far only win in the championship. And he lines up on the Mahindra in pole position. 16 years of age he is. He's been competing in the World Championship so far, so that experience has definitely helped him. But as you can see on that graphic on the right-hand side of your screen, 4 DNFs in a row is what he had, and he had some problems in Valencia as well. He really needs a turnaround in fortunes, but he's on the Mahindra bike as well, and we know the Mahindra perhaps...
and his little brother races too.
Exactly. Really nice to see. That's Adrian Fernandez from the European Talent Cup. But... as we said, it's very exciting to see Raul Fernandez on pole position on that Mahindra as well. We haven't seen the Mahindra looking this good so far this season.
Yeah, they if it's one bike, they're the bike that are struggling right now in Moto3. Honda right now are at the top level. KTM's thereabouts, and definitely great to see Fernandez, take pole this weekend. Again, it's a new racetrack for everybody, and it gives an opportunity for those, guys that are struggling a bit, or especially this guy right here, Aaron. He's been struggling a little bit at the start of the season, and, now he's got front row. So it's great to see, it's great to see some big changes like this.
It really is. Yeah, Aaron Palenko, as you said there, Dakota, looked quick in Valencia, was very quick in Valencia. Yeah. 5th place, of course, he took in the second race. That first race, though, he was seething after he ended up having an incident with Jaume Masia. He basically blamed Masia for the incident afterwards, and it was at the final corner, and Palenko went down. Masia didn't, and it was very unfortunate for him, but ended up finishing in 5th place in race 2, which was some consolidation. And good to see the Asia Talent team as well doing really well here. Once again, they seem to qualify brilliantly. Ayagura, 16 years of age on the number 32 machine, but just one finish he's had so far this year. Of course, he ended up missing a round in Catalonia due to injury. Ended up crashing out in race number 1 and then missed the race weekend.
Look at that wind.
You can see the sand being kicked up as well. It's very windy here in Estoril. It's up to 25 miles an hour is what we've been expecting. And on these lighter machines, that's not going to help at all. Here's Vincente Perez. He started from pole position in Valencia in the previous round. And as you can see, a good run of form he's had. Very consistent, actually. He's gotten quicker and quicker and quicker over the course of the season.
And finished every race and get points. And that's what you need.
Consistency is the key. 3rd position he took in the second race in Valencia last time out. His first ever podium in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. And he'll be starting at the head of the second row. And alongside him will be the Asia Talent Team rider of Yuki Kuni, who we'll see in just a couple of moments' time. Now, Asia Talent Team riders, here is Yuki Kuni, have been doing really well so far this season. They've been qualifying really well, but they just need to up their consistency. They're just just need to have having some problems with that. But let's go to an onboard lap now, shall we? With the man that we were just looking at, Yuki Cooney. Here he is, down the start-finish straight and heading in towards that first corner. Over the timeline we go. We'll head into the first corner in a few moments. This was in qualifying yesterday, and you can see how much the group was bunched up. So bouncing off the rev limiter at just under 240 kilometers an hour, in towards the very acute-angled first turn. Very deep, easy to go deep on the brakes into that corner. Onto the throttle we go once more. Keep it over to the left-hand side of your track, into the right-hander, which climbs up the hill into turn number 3. Third gear for this one, 146 kilometers an hour. Hard on the brakes, though, down into first gear as we climb up the hill and ascend up the circuit. Very nice indeed for these riders. Into the hairpin, the left-hander of turn number 4. Second gear for this, just under 80 kilometers an hour on the apex, back on the throttle, and then they're hard on the accelerator before the interior parabolica. Into the right-hander we go. And then into turn number 6, it's going to be hard on the brakes. You'll be surprised how late they brake on these machines. Bouncing off the rev limiter once again in 5th gear. Hard on the brakes, though. Down into 2nd, into turn number 6. Just behind one of the Estrella Galicia bikes is Yuki Cooney at this moment. And then back on the accelerator before we come into the middle part of the lap. Again, the circuit really drops away downhill into turn number 7. Down into 2nd gear, just over the 50-meter board on the exit. Into the right-hander we go. Gets them the line beautifully through there. Then into the right-hander of turn number 8. And then it is one of the most opportune overtaking opportunities on this lap. The left-right chicane of turns 8 and 9, referred to as the S's. Into the right-hander we go, and then it's into the final part of the lap. The very quick right-handed kink, and then hard on the brakes into 2nd gear for the left. And then just the final corner, the parabolica, Ayrton Senna awaits the riders, and that will then complete a lap of the circuit that the field is using here this weekend at Estoril. But what a way to have a brilliant look at a rider's eye view of the track. Over the timeline we go with Yuki Cooney, and his time was best for the middle of the second row in 5th position. A great qualifying for him, and he will line up, as we said there, which is really good to see.
It's great to see that onboard shot, and it gives us all an idea what it's really like and what these boys are actually seeing on top of their bikes. So I think they should have that even in the World Championship, and an onboard camera. We always miss that, especially on a qualifying lap like that. So, but yeah, like you were saying, these boys in the Asia Talent Cup team, they're always qualifying in the top, but they seem to be struggling a little bit in the race. And I think I was speaking to Takahashi, or no, Aoyama. I was speaking to. Sorry. I was speaking to Aoyama in the last race, and in Valencia, and he said that they seem to struggle as soon as the tire starts to wear out a bit. So that's where they have to improve, and it'd be interesting to see if they improve during the season.
Here's Jaume Macia, 6th in the championship for the Spanish rider for the Cuna de Campeones team. Good consistency he's had in the early half of the season, aside from the DNF he had in Le Mans whilst battling for the podium. Hasn't had a podium for a couple of rounds now, so he's looking to try and, I'm sure, get himself back in contention for a step onto the rostrum. But nonetheless, keep an eye out for him. He starts from 6th position on the grid. Should mention a couple of notable absences for this weekend. Apiwat Montananon, once again not here this weekend, is still suffering from a bit of sickness. Get well soon stamp there, so believe that is a message perhaps for Apiwat or something along the lines of that. There is Dennis Foggia though. Has he dyed his hair, or has it always been that colour?
No, he's definitely dyed it. I'm not sure if it's the month to dye hair, because Alex Rins has also dyed his hair that color.
Has he really?
He has.
Oh, this is he here this weekend?
He's not. He's actually
he'd have stuck out like a sore thumb otherwise.
But yeah, not quite sure what's up with that look.
My goodness me, that's something pretty special. It's a good thing he's got the helmet to cover that there. Crikey. It's children watching. But
just crazy kids.
Dennis Foggia leading the championship, 111 points for the Sky VR46 team after that dominant double victory. Qualified a bit further down the order than we were expecting, though. 7th position, head of the 3rd row of the grid. But we saw that, though, in Valencia.
Yeah.
Qualified further down the order, but made ground in the race.
Yeah, I mean, Dennis has been really fast every weekend, especially in Valencia. So I'm not sure 7th place is really a bad position. He's at the front of the 3rd row. If he gets a good start, he goes with the front group, and we all know he can, be battling for that podium. So everything's really tight. He's only 0.4 away from the pole position lap time from Raul, and it's what you said. It's about being consistent, and everything could have changed. The wind could have affected him a bit more here and there, but there's no doubt about, and I put my money on him that he'll be at the front.
Well, Kazuki Misaki, we just saw there, he lines up alongside Dennis Foggia, but this man, Sergio Garcia, what form he's had this season. Absolutely brilliant. Took his first ever win at race 2 at Catalonia, third in the championship, 72 points, 14 years of age. You wouldn't believe it was his first year in the class. It's unprecedented what he is doing, Sergio Garcia, really proving to be a good mix. And he's the first Estrella Galicia bike home. They really struggled yesterday in qualifying the Estrella Galicia trio. I say struggled. That's not necessarily that true, actually, because they just qualified a bit further down the order than we would expect. So we were expecting the likes of Alcoba and this man, Alonso Lopez, to be at the sharp end of the grid. But they ended up not doing too well in qualifying. And Lopez, again, he's an interesting case, isn't he? A really good rider, really quick on his day, but has had a couple of DNFs and has been a bit inconsistent.
Yeah, I mean, 2 wins in a second and 3 DNFs. I mean, not consistent, but he's fast. And I wouldn't... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, here's a man who has set the world on fire in the opening stages of the championship, and then he's just gone off the boil. It's a bit of an enigma, Makar Yuchenko, in the fact that he started really strongly in Albacete, and likewise in Le Mans was running really well until some problems hit. But he's just sort of knocked off the boil over the last few rounds. It's a real disappointment for Makar. Hopefully he can get himself back in contention. We'll run you through the absences in a few moments' time for this weekend. Here, though, is Jeremy Alcoba. He was just over 0.03 of a second ahead of his teammates, Charlie Nesbitt, who got his best ever qualifying in 13th place. But Jeremy Alcoba, 15 years of age, 1 win, 4 podiums, second in the championship, but still trailing Foggia by a significant margin. And because there's only 1 race here today, if you blow it, that's your lot.
Yeah, that's what makes it more difficult.
So here is the grid then for the Moto3 Junior World Championship race. 7 out of 12 this season. Fernandez, Polanco, Agura on the front row. Perez, then Yuki Kuni, Messia. Then Foggia, Misaki and Sergio Garcia are on row number 3. And then towards row number 4, Alonso Lopez, Makar Yuchenko and Jeremy Alcoba. Row number 5, best ever qualifying for the British rider Charlie Nesbitt, ahead of Celestino Vietti Ramos. Then Andy Farad, the Asia Talent Team rider. Mattia Casadei, who of course ended up in some problems in Valencia, lines up alongside his teammate, Yaron Montella. Then it's Jacito Garcia, Dan Jones, Gerard Riou, Aleix Vieux, Gabriel Martinez Abrego, Stefano Nepa, Del Bianco, Verdois and Lauren Faber are on row 9 in 27th place. Further down the order, Casimir Udin, Jason De Pasquale, Riccardo Rossi, Cavalieri, Florido, Iannacci. He's got a grid penalty. More on that in a moment. Alex Ruiz, Angel Lorente, Matthias Megle in 36th position. And then towards the rear end of the grid, Filippo Fellini, younger brother to Federico, who competes in Moto2, Josh Owens, Chandler Cooper, Livan Luchel, Ryan van der Lagmart, and then Heng Su, the Chinese rider, in 14th position on the grid. But as we said, a couple of changes in the order. Notable absences. Rory Skinner, unfortunately not here this weekend. He's got a hairline fracture to his left arm after a mountain bike accident during training, so he is going to be watching the race from home. So I hope you're enjoying the coverage here, Rory. But also missing here this weekend, Apiwat Wongtananon. He's off due to illness, as we said, and a couple of other riders who were missing from the field as well. But nonetheless, 42 riders taken to the grid, and it's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens. We've just had the tyre allocation through Dakota. Mixture of mediums and softs by the looks of things. Yeah,
but most riders are going with the soft. The only 2 riders not going with the soft is Yuki Kuni and Dennis Foggia, which is very, very interesting to see. You never know. Maybe during the weekend they tried out the soft and the medium compound, and some riders prefer one tire than the other. Could be their riding style, could be the way they ride more aggressively with the throttle or not. With these conditions not being so hot, I have a feeling that soft might be a better option, but you never know. We've seen this in Valencia already. Many riders going with soft and other riders going with medium. So I think it's whatever rider prefers and feels more comfortable with.
It's going to be very interesting to see. So the riders making their way through turns 9 and 10 through the chicane. Keep an eye out for a few overtaking opportunities there throughout the course of the race. But Raul Fernandez starting from pole position, his first pole of the season. Going to be interesting to see whether he can take it down to that first corner as well, because what we've seen with those Mahindras especially is they've started and qualified really well, but during the race they seem to fade as well. They seem to struggle with straight line speed by the looks of things.
Yeah, they do struggle. And
oh, there's some problems as well, and that is one of the Rins 42 machines, as you can see. Just trying to see whether it's Fellini or whether it is the luckless... no, it is Fellini, I apologise.
It's not View.
It's not View, no. So Filippo Fellini there, unfortunately, with a technical problem on the warm-up lap. He will not make the start in this race. Disappointment there for the Italian rider. Just about manages to get the bike stopped as well in the wind.
And it's the worst, you know, only having one race.
And
today.
that's his lot run, unfortunately, all of this way to qualify and then not race. Disappointment for Filippo Fellini, but that is how it runs. Meanwhile, here is the man who will start from the head of the grid, Raul Fernandez, on the Aspar Mahindra.
That helmet kind of scares me with them eyes on the top.
It's a unique design. That's for sure. So
keep his competitive scared.
Exactly. So Fernandez, Palanco, and Agura on the front row of the grid. Who is going to lead the way down towards the first corner? We wait for the 5 red lights to come on. Everybody making their positions in the grid. And then we'll wait for that green flag to be waved at the back. I can just see out of our commentary box, looks like there's some problems for Chandler Cooper. He's got some problems on the start. They're not being able to get the bike started. Hopefully, they've been able to bump start it now and get it going, but he might be pushed off of the grid at this rate. There we can see on screen some problems there for... No, it's Josh Owens, I apologise, not Chandler Cooper. So some problems there for him. We wait for the 5 red lights to come on, though. Junior Moto3 World Championship here in Estoril. It's very windy, it's very warm, and it's lights out, and away we go in a good start from the middle of the second row for Aaron Palanco. Likewise, Raul Fernandez getting away very well, but he gets swamped by Agura and Palanco as we head down towards the first corner. And then the fast-starting Dennis Foggia also looking to make some good gains. He's up in the second position. Are they all going to make it through? 42 bikes into the first corner. Well, out well wide. Somebody goes very wide and a couple of riders going down at the first corner. Hopefully they're okay. We'll give you some updates as soon as we can see who's involved there. But now, leading the way, it's Ayagura ahead of Aaron Palanco. So Palanco with the advantage, and Foggia getting all out of the seat from 4th place as well. Everybody making it cleanly through turns 2 and 3, thankfully, after that first corner drama. But nonetheless, a very exciting opening few corners. And now Dennis Foggia from 7th on the grid is already challenging for 2nd place. He's up into P2 around the outside. And now he's going to try and bite off Agura as well. Here we go. Before he's even made the corner, late on the brakes, but Agura goes up the inside. Unbelievably close racing here as Agura gets the move done and dusted, and now he's back into the lead of the race.
Yeah, I mean, it's really shuffled everywhere, this group, and it's good to see Foggia in the front now.
And there we go. That's Andy Farad, Lorenzo Petracca, and Gerard Riu who were involved in that incident. And we can see one of the riders being stretched away. Looks like it was Andy Farad due to the colour of the leathers. Here we go. Let's see what happened. Oh, no. Farad got caught behind and clipped and unfortunately sent one of the Mahindra Leglise bikes down. And also Gerard Riu, just a passenger in that by the looks of things as well. So
many riders.
An unfortunate series of events, and they're all bottlenecking, aren't they, into that first corner?
Yeah, that corner is not it's a really tight corner, and with 42 riders running in there deep, especially with this wind and everything, everybody could be braking differently in this, and it's really easy to run it too deep.
It was inevitable that something would happen, unfortunately. Meanwhile, who's going to lead the way into the first corner? Well, Foggia looks like he might try and take it, but Palanco's looking quite racy as well. And it's still Agura who manages to go deeper on the brakes, but Foggia gets it back on the exit. Nicely done there from Dennis Foggia, the Italian who's done the double. He could be trying to do a Granado at this rate and take 3 wins in a row, but still... He's got some company from behind in the form of Agura, in the form of Palanco, and also keep an eye out for Yuki Kuni, the other Asia Talent Team bike, as well as Raul Fernandez. And this is the thing with Fernandez. He qualified on pole position, but his race pace, something to do with the bike or perhaps with him, just not able to keep with it. Dear.
Macia?
No, it's one of the Strega Lethia bikes. Looks like it must have been Lopez who was caught in there because it was right in the middle of the pack. No, I apologise, it wasn't. It must actually have been Garcia because Lopez is still in the race on the 21. So it was Sergio Garcia. There we go. And in fact, 52. No, I apologise. It was Jeremy Alcoba. Oh, dear. It was one of the 3.
Oh, no.
And so it's Jeremy Alcoba who's gone down. We'll have to wait and see there. Let's have a look at the replay. Here we go with Alcoba. So here we are then. Oh, and he just high sides. Yeah.
As simple as that. High sides, gets on the throttle a bit too hard and spits him off the bike. And hopefully he's okay. But he's had a great season so far. And
not going to be helping his championship charge from second, though, unfortunately not. He's 86 points is what he was on, and the leader, Dennis Foggia, and the leader in this race as well, is on 111, so quite a significant advantage, and that looks to be set to increase in this race if nothing changes out in front. But lap 217 we are on.
Dennis really pushing now.
Yeah, this is exactly what he did in Valencia, though. We saw this, didn't we, of course? He just absolutely pulled the pin in the opening few laps, made that advantage, got the hammer down. But Aaron Polanco, he's looking for vengeance after that drama that he had in race 1 in Valencia. Took 5th in race 2, which was a good result. Very bumpy under braking, though. Big wobble on the front end. Hopefully he's able to get it stopped. Indeed he is. And somebody running well out wide. That was Lopez. Lopez. Yeah, he was going... No, in fact, it was Garcia. I apologise. Oh, dear. Somebody going down. The fire extinguisher's off. That's Andy Verdois.
Some action going on.
Yeah, on the KTM. You don't know where to look. Goodness me, the bike's still on fire.
They're going to red flag.
Yeah, we might see a red flag. Oh, no! Is that another one of the Estoril bikes? And it is! I don't believe it. So are they caught up in the incident? Have they gone off on the oil or something like that? Let's have a look and see what happened. Here's a replay. And it's... No, is it a mechanical failure at the first corner?
He pushes him wide.
Oh, no. I thought it might have been... It might have run off on the oil, or he might have had a mechanical, or...
No. I think Macia kind of, pushes him wide on the outside, and he seems to...
Unbelievable stuff.
I think he broke in the dirty part of the track.
So that then eliminates...
They haven't red flagged it yet.
No, they haven't red flagged it, so they're still keeping the race going. It's the 3 laps under 17, which is the thing that baffles me as well. So that means that eliminates Garcia, it eliminates Alcoba, and where is Alonso Lopez on the screen? He's off as well. So absolute disaster. There he is, Alonso Lopez.
Oh no, terrible day for the...
Estoril all eliminated within the first 3 laps. They can't believe it. They're not going to know either that the other guys are out because, of course, they're all going to reconvene in the pit lane and be like, what are you doing here?
the team's going to be just... It's been the worst day for them so far, and I think they'll be definitely putting out a sign to Foggia saying, listen, basically your biggest rivals have crashed, so just finish this race and get some good points.
Exactly. Well, the Estoril hope now rests on Charlie Nesbitt. He's sitting in 14th place inside the points, so hopefully he can make some ground and salvage something for the Estoril team. But Aaron Polanco hits the front into the first corner. Meanwhile, the 3 Asia Talent Team bikes. How many times have we seen this season? The number 32 of Ayagura leads the trio in 3rd place. Kazuki Misaki, though, in 4th place with the fastest lap.
Great teamwork.
Yeah, exactly. They run together and they get the slipstream, and they really are able to...
Nearly outside. Oh, another crash.
That's
Fernandez.
That is Fernandez who's gone down. Unbelievable stuff. Fernandez losing that. There must be a slippery track. There must be oil on the track, because I think that's the same place where we saw Verdois' bike gone down.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think so. I think it was just...
Well, it could have deposited oil before that, of course. And somebody else is down there. Oh, yeah, somebody else has gone down. So there must be some kind of slippery substance on the track. This is
a lot of action going on.
Yeah, we don't know where to look
4
here
laps,
in the box.
And only 4 laps have gone by.
What's going to happen in the others? God, blimey. Save us. So Polanco now trying to challenge Foggia for the lead of the race.
Some good racing going on here, and... like you said, it's good to see the 3 Asian Talent Cup bikes up here helping each other out. There's that Eric corner that I was talking about. Really good corner to the pass in the inside on. And but then again, Aaron Polanco, he's been really fast this weekend, and I think he'll be the Dennis Foggia's biggest contender right now.
One of the best performances we've seen of the season from Aaron Polanco and the Leopard Racing team. They've been doing really well in the World Championship, but with Joan Mir, of course, but not necessarily so in terms of the Junior World Championship. They've had a bit of a more difficult time this season. And
this racetrack is going to be one of the most difficult ones, to break away like Dennis did in Valencia, because it's a lot longer racetrack. Oh,
I was going to say very squirrely on the brakes there from Yuki Kuni. He got it all out of shape on the Asia Talent Team Honda. This is incredibly close as well. And Jaume Messias coming into the party as well. He fancies a bit of the action, sitting there in 6th place on the Cuna de Campeones machine. We've got 3 of those Cuna de Campeones bikes in the championship. 2 KTMs in the form of Messia and Lorente. And then we've got a wild card for this weekend, Ivan Moraes on the Mir Racing machine, which is actually a steel trellis frame bike that competes in the Cuna de Campeones championship, which is actually also here as a support class this weekend. So Foggia leads the way. Aaron Palenko in second place. The race not settling down at all because here comes Ayagura. He's looking up the inside of Kazuki Misaki into the interior Parabolica. Gets the move done and dusted into the left-hander. And now he is on the rostrum. So it's a fight for honour between the Asia Talent team bikes. And hopefully, we don't have a repeat of what we had in Albacete.
No, I mean, 3 of them in this front group. Let's hope that we can get at least one in the top,
exactly.
in the top 3.
They need a good result as well, and I was talking to Alberto Pucci yesterday as well, of course, who is the talent scout for the British Talent Cup as well. We've just seen some announcements for that, but also involved with the Asia Talent team, Asia Talent Cup. He's a very busy man, is what he is. I don't know quite what T-shirt he knows to put on every day, but regardless, I was talking to him, and he's saying that he thinks the team could do well here this weekend. They had some good potential. He said, he was very pragmatic. He said, well, we could do well, but we might not. Yeah. So over the timeline we go. Lap 5 out of 17, on to lap number 6 here in Albacete. Over the timeline we go with Foggia. Here comes Palenko, is the number 47 on the Leopard Racing bike, going to take the lead into the first corner. Well, he ducks out from under the bubble, but doesn't have the opportunity to make it stick. Still holding on though to third position, meanwhile, is Ayagura, but very close behind him are the squabbling duo, now trio of... Kuni Misaki and also Masia, so very close indeed. Lap 6 out of 17 we are on. Into the right-hander we go, and that KTM is looking really hooked up as somebody runs it well wide. That was number 33 of Yuki Kuni, so he went a bit wide, he's lost a bit of ground, and now he's going to be behind Masia, I'm sure. No, he's just in front of him, actually, apologies. He managed to get it back on the exit, so...
Top 6 are the only ones basically running in the 46s, so these boys are running a lot better pace than everybody else, and who are running in the 47s now. But this boy right here, Aaron, you know, like you said, even in Valencia he was quick, and it's good to see him.
Oh no! One of the extra talent riders has gone down. That looks like it is number 33. It's Yuki Kuni that's gone down out of the right-hander. I didn't see what happened. I was just looking at the time screens for a moment, and he high-sided out of the corner. A big shame there for Yuki Kuni. Oh, dearie me. Hopefully he'll be up and okay, but that's the second time he's crashed out of a race in a really important position. He did the same in Barcelona.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's, you know, I mean, I'm not sure what's going on with these boys because, you know, they're fast, and they know they're fast. They just need to, you know, oh, he seems to be hurt a bit.
Yeah, let's see what happens. We might, this carries on. We've got a yellow flag, of course, in that sector. We may end up getting a red flag if they can't get Kuni out of the way safely, unfortunately. I wonder what happened to Mikhail Yuchenko, because he's now in the pit lane. He's retired from this race, so his season goes from bad to worse, unfortunately. We have 42 runners supposed to start this race, 41 in total. We've now only got 32 left. So 10 riders in 7 laps. That's a race of attrition.
Yeah, and I don't think Dennis knows what's going on behind him. He's just racing and just... and I don't think he knows that all his, you know, highest competitors are out of this race.
Palenko looking really, really racy, isn't he, into turn number 3. Really trying to find a way through, but he's just not having the opportunity presented to him thus far at the moment. It's just Foggia's riding his lines perfectly, closing the door at every opportunity and doing a really good job. Oh, and that's one of the JH Cleader-Glees. That's Andrea Cavalieri that's gone down as well. So now 30 riders left in this race after Kuni and Cavalieri's demise, unfortunately. A big, big shame for both of those riders. They'll be hoping for better fortunes next time out after the summer break in Jerez. Here comes Agura up the inside of Aaron Palenko. He gets the move nicely done into the interior Parabolica. Lovely move there from the Japanese man. Will he be able, though, to get himself onto the top step of the rostrum? I have to say, I was expecting Foggia to get himself a bit further ahead of this squabble at the moment. Big moment, though, for Palenko. He manages to hold on but now he's going to be reeled in the clutches of Kazuki Misaki, who goes up the inside, doesn't need asking twice, but gets his nose chopped off into turns 9 and 10, and Masia might get him on the exit as well, so he might lose out. Double time here for Misaki. Here comes Masia. Did he get ahead? Yes, indeed he did. So Masia now moves himself up into 4th place. So a good bit of opportunist
riding. Some action
riding
going on, just 7 laps past.
I know, it's incredible stuff. Absolutely brilliant. By stark contrast to what we had in Valencia as well. We didn't have any any groups in the second race, so the race sort of petered out a bit, didn't it? But nonetheless, absolutely brilliant stuff as Foggia leads the way over the timeline. He's now got a bit of daylight between himself and Ayagura and Aaron Palenko. Palenko now into 2nd place ahead of Agura. Hard on the brakes, though, they go in towards turn 1. Looks like these guys are really strong onto the brakes into that first corner. They've been trialling it. Here comes Agura into 2nd place.
Yeah, these two boys need to, you know, get it together and help each other out, because Dennis is we've seen it already. Dennis, if he gets a clear track, he can, put some good lap times in. And, he's the only one with Ogura that's gone down to the 46.9s now.
Here's Garcia getting really shuffled out wide. That was Vincente Perez, who was running off the circuit at the first corner. Perez was trying to find his way through against the Estoril Galicia bike. So Garcia is actually still in this race. I do apologise, but he's way, way, way down the order. Is Garcia? He's down in 24th position. We thought he retired from this one, but he has managed to get back on his bike. But nonetheless, it was Perez who was trying to find a way through.
Aaron just went underneath Ogura, so he's back in second place. And
position second out of the grid and out of the field, which is really good to see. Lap 8 out of 17 we're on. What more action are we going to get? I'm not knowing whether to look at the timing screens or whether to look at the TV screens at the moment, because there's so much happening here in this race. It all is going off at the moment, and these guys are really closing up. The thing that really impresses me as well is that we saw Misaki and Masia bike lengths back just a lap or so ago, and by the end of this lap they've closed up. It's incredible.
Yeah, I mean they've slipstreamed each other on that front straight and gain back their mistakes. So that's what the advantages on this racetrack is, having such a long front straight. And we'll see now if Aaron can get the slipstream of Dennis and try to pass him in this first corner.
Here we go, though,
but
with
Dennis always is strong on that braking markers.
Very, very close indeed between the two Asia Talent bikes, and that is Vincente Perez, who's gone down the road. It wasn't related to the incident at the first corner, I don't think. No, that looks like the interior parabolica from what I can see. But nonetheless, that's a big shame for him. He was down the order, though, in 24th place, battling with Sergio Garcia. So I wonder what has happened there for Vincente Perez. Very big shame there for him. It's stark contrast to what happened in Valencia a few weeks ago. Meanwhile, the man in 4th place, Kazuki Misaki, fastest lap last time around, and by a big way.
Yeah, by 0.7, and I think he just had a really good slipstream and on that front straight. But interesting to see Ogura's, if you see his riding style, he kind of lifts his outside leg out when he breaks into the corners, and it's definitely funny to see on TV.
Indeed, here comes Polanco. He's up the inside of Foggia, or thinks about it, at least into turn number 7. Down the hill they go, cascading through into turn number 8, but no opportunity presented for him at the moment. Foggia slams the door in his face, and Foggia's doing a great job of defensive riding. He's just looking calm, confident, and in control. This is the thing that we said about him as well. He just looks so effortless on the bike. It just looks like it's all natural and just beautiful. He's not hustling the bike at all. No,
he looks, like you said, he looks really comfortable. Nobody really can pass him at the moment, and he's not making any mistakes. He's focused, and winning in Valencia both rounds is probably giving him more confidence.
I have to say, great race by Charlie Nesbitt, by the way, the British rider. 9th position he's in. That'll be his best result of the season. I was talking to his dad, Paul, before we got this broadcast underway, and I was just saying, what do you reckon for the day? He said, if we can get top 10, I think we'll be happy. That's really good to see, and doing something for the Estoril Galicia team as well, considering what a shocking day they've had already, just 10 laps into this race. So still Polanco in 2nd place. There's Misaki in 3rd position, and Kazuki Misaki, he's going to be really trying to do very well. He's currently 7th in the Riders' Championship, is the Japanese rider. 47 points he's on, but his best result so far this season, and he's only taken 13 points in one race, which was a 4th. So he's looking to try and take his first rostrum of 2017. Likewise, Masia, we know he's been on the podium. And also the man behind him, Iagura, as well. Let's see how Iagura has done, because he could be a very interesting guy in this race. He's had a bit of a difficult start to the season, of course, having missed so many rounds, has Agura. But nonetheless, hasn't taken a podium either this season. So either of the Asia Talent bikes on the podium would be a good result for these guys.
That's what I said. There was 3 of them, and now there's 2. So I really hope they can at least get 1 on that podium, and they deserve it. That's for sure. And they just need to, keep their cool down and don't make any more mistakes. And there goes Aaron.
Oh my goodness, that was a late lunge. If he was going to hold it, he didn't manage to into turn number 9. But that was very close indeed.
He really wants to pass him.
He really, really does. It's interesting to note where he's stronger, because Polanco looks like he's just riding a bit more aggressively. You can see the front bucking and weaving, and looks like he's putting a bit more effort in than Foggia is. Perhaps Foggia's got something left in the tank. We've seen that.
We've seen that, and I think that's what Eric Granado did in Moto2. I think he had a little extra, and as soon as he had that lead, he just pushed it and won it. And I think that's that's what Foggia is doing now. I think he's just playing cool.
But here comes Masia, though. Don't write Masia off, because he is really coming into the foray, up into second place from fourth in the shape of a corner. Unbelievable riding there from Jaume Masia. This race is going to come to a right climax, but not for Matthias Megle. He is out of the race at the interior parabolica. The German rider, unfortunately, his Dynafault Intact GP machine will go no further, and it's a front ender into the corner. We've seen him do that a couple of times this season. He did exactly the same at the hairpin of turn 10 in Catalunya. So a disappointing season for the German rider continues, unfortunately. Meanwhile, back at the front, at the sharp end, big moment and very wide there for Dennis Foggia. Is they going to allow Masia a way through? He goes defensive, he goes up the inside. Surely he's going to think about a move, though, into turn number 7. Really going to go hard onto the race. Into the interior parabolica we go, and Masia is going to hit the front for the first time in this race, but Foggia gets it back on the inside line. So Dennis Foggia takes the lead back. A simple mistake after running too wide out of turn number 5. Into turn number 6 they went, and a big shame there for him. But here comes Masia into turn 7, down hard on the brakes, into the lead of the race. Jaume Masia hits the front for the first time in this race, and don't count out with Kazuki Misaki, who's very close behind as well. Into turns 9 and 10 we go. Will anybody think about a move there? Aaron Palanco, he's been shuffled down into 5th position. So from 2nd to 5th, how the mighty fall at the moment, because he's got some ground to make up, but there's still 6 laps remaining. Well, 5 1/4 really, after they've come around this part of the lap. So it will be very, very interesting to see how we get on. Through the final corner we go, and here comes Foggia. His exit, though, Dakota, out of the final corner has been incredible.
Yeah, and well, he's been in the front for most of this race, so it'll be interesting to see now with the slipstream. Yeah, you see slipstreaming, and he's going to gain that time back and leading it again, or not.
Dream to think about it. It's hard to call, isn't it? Oh, no.
Another one.
Another one. Is that Martinez Abrego that's gone down the road? It looks like the Moto Mex machine. It is Gabriel Martinez Abrego, the Mexican rider. He's wildcarded at a couple of events in the World Championship this year. Not having the best of seasons in the CEV. Meanwhile, out in front, Dennis Foggia leads the way ahead of Kazuki Misaki now. Masia's been shuffled down to 3rd place, but surely not for long, because he's going to try and find his way ahead of the Japanese rider. Going to have to find an opportunity to do so, though, which is easier said than done on these bikes. And now Foggia knows that he's got to pull the pin. He's going to try and break out that advantage. It's over 0.3 of a second at the last sector split there, Dakota, and it's now looking like it might be increasing ever so slightly.
Yeah, I mean, these boys need to not stop passing each other and focus again. But Masaki seems to be fast, too. So
they're really quick in the middle sector, these other guys, aren't they?
Or Dennis is just struggling in sector 2 and 3. So you never know. But everyone's basically in the in the 47s, and the rest of the field are in 49s. So they're 2 seconds a lap quicker than anybody else in this this field.
Unbelievable racing there. Charlie Nesbitt now up into 8th place as well, just behind Josito Garcia. He is, and he's actually not too far behind Garcia either, so we could end up seeing that position change hands before the end of this race. But nonetheless, a brilliant result it would be for Spud Nesbitt. Meanwhile, Dennis Foggia leads the way. Around the final corner we go, ready to come over the timing line for the 12th, 13th time of asking. And Masaki's looking very racy indeed in 3rd position.
Will we see an Asia Talent Cup leading this race soon?
Will we see an Asia Talent Team rider winning? You never know. It could happen. It could happen. But Palanco, though, he's sitting there in, as we said, at 5th place. Yeah, he's really trying to keep with this leading group. He looks like he's doing quite well, but he's just got shuffled out to dry a couple of laps ago and hasn't been able to make the advantage.
Yeah, he got shuffled back at the beginning now, and he just needs to, gain his focus back, and that's what happens when one passes you and another one passes you. Your focus kind of goes away. But he just needs to stay cool. He knows he can, run in the front with these boys, especially with Dennis, and now he needs to start, getting one by one and start heading towards the front, because 5 laps to go. 5 laps go by fast.
Yeah, exactly. We saw that, of course, in the European Talent Cup when we had the red flag in race 1. Should mention that Celestino Vietti-Ramos has unfortunately retired from this race, so the sole honour for the VR46 Riders Academy team rests on this man leading the race, Dennis Foggia. They're just coming up against lap traffic. That's Heng Su, who's tucking his leg out, sitting in 25th and last position is Heng Su at the moment. Masaki, though, looking close behind. Oh, he's getting caught behind.
Which has given Dennis
a little bit of an advantage just into turns 9 and 10. So he manages to just eke out a couple of bike lengths. That could be pivotal. It might not be, though. We've seen them closing up this gap. So let's wait and see. Let's call it as we see it, because it could change. Meanwhile, Polanco's kind of dropping off the back a little bit. What tyres is Aaron Polanco on? He's on the soft rear, but so is the Dennis Foggia as well. Dennis Foggia, in fact, no, I apologise. Dennis is on the medium rear.
On the medium.
So,
but Masaki,
he's on the soft rear as well. So he's got the softer rear tyre. So he's done really well to keep the longevity of that.
100%. And but Dennis just seems, like you said, you know, Dennis seems to be in another league. He seems to be doing all this really easily, effortless.
Really looks very comfortable out there. So 4 laps now remaining here of the Junior Moto3 World Championship in Estoril. Anybody's guess who's going to take the victory. It's currently, at the moment, a two-way scrap between Foggia and Masaki. But don't count your chickens just yet, because Masia, Agura and Polanco close behind.
Moment for Masaki.
Yeah, had a bit of a moment going through there, didn't he? Looks like he's got a couple of little glitches through there. Hopefully that doesn't allow him to lose too much time. However, Messia's looking very racy on board that KTM, and it's good to see the KTMs, just on a side note, doing so well this year in the CEV, because of course they've been struggling a little bit in the World Championship, and a few problems as Polanco gets himself ahead of Agura, but Agura tries to take it back into the corner. Meanwhile, look at this scrap going on further down the order. Here's Kasimir Udine. He's having a bit of a battle with Sergio Garcia. Garcia, what? I haven't noticed this. We've been so busy focusing on the action out in front. 24th he's gone from, up into 12th position. Unbelievable as it all gets a bit shirty closer behind. Look at this train of bikes. You can see Casadei in there as well. It's a Garcia train at the moment as well, and all aboard it, because everybody's going to want a piece of the action. So into turns 10 we go, and out of it now. So Foggia with the advantage. Unbelievable riding, though, from Sergio Garcia. He'll be very, very pleased with that one. It hasn't actually popped up on our time. No, it has indeed popped up on our timing screens now. So really great to see. Charlie Nesbitt as well in 8th place, as we said. Just ahead of him is Jari Montella. So Montella's had a quiet but consistent race, which is really good, actually, for the Italian rider, considering the difficulty he had last time out, and he qualified actually quite far down the order. So it was a really difficult time for him. There's Alberto Puig on the left-hand side of the screen. He thinks that they could get a victory in this one. What do you reckon?
I think so. I mean, Masaki's been, you know, on Dennis's rear wheel for the past 3 laps, and seems like he's just holding away. And 3 laps to go. I mean, he needs to start making a move soon and seeing where he could pass Dennis and where Dennis is a little bit weaker.
Exactly. So Dennis, as we've seen, is very quick in the first sector, but the second sector is generally where he struggles. So be interesting to see whether Masaki perhaps thinks about planting a move at the interior parabolica or something along the lines of that. Meanwhile, there is the number 19. That's Ruffino Florido. He's in 20th position on the JHK Leglise Mahindra. Let's have a look. Some kind of an incident that's happened with Ruffino. Has he gone down the road or something? Yeah, he's dropped the front. He's gone back on. Oh, dearie me. That's into turn 9 as well. And that corner's uphill. It's off camber. It's a nasty corner.
Yeah.
Easy to lose the front. And the engine kept running, fortunately, and he was able to get it back out in the race, but now sits down outside the points in 20th position. But he has rejoined the race, as we did see. So just under 2.5 laps now remaining. Coming into turns 9 and 10, Masaki and Foggia. Foggia and Masaki, you can't separate them on track. Keep an eye out, though, for Masia. He's there in 3rd place on the number 5, the Cunha de Campiones machine. Aaron Polanco not too far behind as well. In the middle of those guys is Agura on the number 32. Anybody's guess who this race is going to go to. Place your bets now, ladies and gents, because it's going to get very hairy, I'm sure, over the next couple of laps or so. Out of the final corner we go, ready to come over the timing line. Dennis Foggia leading the way. Masaki in 2nd place, but Foggia's exit is so supreme. Out of that final turn, he just manages to pick up a few more bike lengths and gets the advantage. So into the first corner we go, hard on the brakes. Polanco has a think about a move up the inside of Masia. Masia's going to lose 2 places in 1 if he's not too careful there, which indeed he does so. Yes, indeed. So through that first corner, Masia goes from 3rd into 5th place. So this is a final spot on the rostrum that these guys are battling for, even if it's just a double podium for Masaki and Agura. They'll be very pleased with that. But nonetheless,
100%, that's what they need.
Exactly, it's to be a good confidence boost. It's great for team morale as well as we head into the summer break, and it's nice to have a strong result as we head into, as they said, that summer break, and then we go into Jerez for the next round of the championship. There is Ayagura, though. Aaron Palenko wants that podium. He wants to get onto the rostrum this season. Onto the brakes, into the interior parabolica he goes, and Agura brakes later. Hopefully he's able to hold on to it there. Into the left-hander we go. He's up the inside. Beautiful bit of riding there from Ayagura. These guys, their racecraft is absolutely incredible. It's impeccable.
And Macia seems to be dropping back a little bit. Tom.
He was on, Macia's on the softer tyres, so perhaps his tyres have gone off or something along the lines of that.
You never know. I mean, but then Masaki's on the soft too, so could be their riding style.
He could, exactly.
You know, you never know, or settings, but Masaki, you know, having the fastest lap of the race with the 46.3, he looks comfortable behind Dennis. I think he has a chance of winning this, and I hope he at least gives it a try.
So round the final corner we go, then getting ready to start the final lap here in Estoril for the Moto3 Junior World Championship. Currently, it's Dennis Foggia going for his 3rd out of 3 wins in 3 races. Here we go, though, for the final podium spot, because Ayagura is looking to get ahead of Aaron Palenko. Into the first corner we go. He's ducked out of the slipstream, hard on the brakes. He's got track position. Will he have the inside line? Yes, indeed he will. Aaron Palenko tries to hold on for all of his might and tries to get back on the exit. He's hanging off the bike left, right and centre, but he doesn't manage to get the position. So Ayagura into 3rd place. 2 Asia Talent Team riders on the podium at this stage. It'll be their best result of the 2017 season so far. Will they get the victory, though? Because Foggia and Masaki are really going hammer and tong for the race win. Foggia with the advantage at the moment as we go through into turn number 5, into the quick right hand. Oh, and Aaron Palenko high sides. Unbelievable. Aaron Palenko high sides out of turn number 4. Disaster for the Leopard Racing rider. We were saying how well they were doing so far this season, and what a difficult season it's been for them, how well they were doing in this race, and it's all gone wrong for the Spaniard. Another DNF on his card. Unbelievable drama. That now means that the podium battle surely is going to go the way of Ayagura for 3rd place, but who is going to get the win? It's going to be Foggia and Masaki. Into the right-hander we go, into turns 9 and 10 in just a couple of corners time. Surely this is going to be Masaki. His last opportunity. Foggia goes defensive. There he goes, hard on the brakes. Masaki's really trying now. He's going to have to think about a drag to the line. It's a great exit, though, out of the right-hander, but he runs it a bit wide. Masaki really trying now for his 1st win in the FIM CEV Repsol Junior Moto3 World Championship. Through the final corner we go. It looks like the race is going to go the way of Dennis Foggia. Out of the final corner we go with the Italian for the VR46 Riders Academy. Over the timeline we go, and it's Dennis Foggia's 3rd successive win in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. Try as he might, Kazuki Masaki takes 2nd place, Ayagura in 3rd position, and Jaume Macia in 4th place. What a race.
Great weekend for the Asia Talent Cup.
Unbelievable.
Team, huh?
Unbelievable. Their 1st double podium of the season. I tell you what, if I was writing the press release later, I'd be pleased about that one.
100%. I bet you Alberto will be happy too.
Unbelievable racing there. Jaume Macia. Yair Montella in 5th place as well. He snuck right there at the end of that race, didn't he, with Jacito Garcia in 6th place. And Charlie Nesbitt as well finishes the race in 8th position. Just behind him, though, is this man, Sergio Garcia. So Sergio Garcia in 8th place, as I say. Charlie Nesbitt in 7th. Their best result of the season so far for Charlie Nesbitt and Sergio Garcia. Some consolidation. And the dab is back for Dennis. What a brilliant celebration. Unbelievable stuff here in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. Dennis Foggia, 3 in a row. What a race. Dakota will be down there in the pit lane interviewing him in a few moments' time. Just over a 1/10 of a second separating Foggia and this man, Kazuki Masaki. Unbelievable stuff. Ayagura with the 1st double podium in the Asia Talent team here in the Moto3 Junior World Championship. As we mentioned, great race also for Yair Montella and Josito Garcia in 5th and 6th place respectively, and also a brilliant result for Nesbitt and Sergio Garcia in 7th and 8th place. Garcia especially because, of course, he came back from falling off in the early stages of the race. Aleix View was inside the top 10. He was 9th. And also Kasmar Udin, the Malaysian rider, I should say, was 10th as well. His best result of the season so far. Mind you, considering that 42 riders started and only 22 finished the race. Quite unbelievable, isn't it, really? What a race of attrition we had there. So we'll bring you the full running order. Some nice rear end sliding, and there's the forward racing team congratulating Dennis Foggia. Surely it's only going to be a matter of time before we see him in the World Championship riding for the VR46 team, and a nice burnout to celebrate as well. He looks absolutely thrilled with that, and you can't blame him either. Dennis Foggia, he's got such personality and such character as well. He's a real nice guy. Really lovely to talk to in the paddock and in the pit lane, and it would be exciting to see him battling for that championship. And of course, after this race, he does indeed extend his championship lead as well. He was on 111 points after this race, and of course, with the demise of the second place man of Jeremy Alcoba in the early stages, and also Sergio Garcia getting a top 10 finish as well, it's going to see some big changes in the order. But Dennis Foggia is going to be leading the way as we head into the summer break by some significant margins. We'll give you a full lowdown of that, of course, after we've seen the highlights of the race. But there is the star of the show, Dennis Foggia, heading back into pit lane. Brilliant race for him. Unbelievable stuff. So just coming around into the final sector is Dabbing Dennis, as we'll probably now nickname him here in the commentary box. 17 laps of that race absolutely flew by, and it probably will for the next race as well. We've got the European Talent Cup coming up very shortly for you, so we look forward to bringing you that. It'll be a very exciting race if it's anything to go by with the first one. Of course, we had two races effectively. We had the first race, and then it was red flagged, and then after the red flag, we had a 5-lap sprint to the end, which was one of the most exciting races we've ever had the pleasure to commentate on here in the FIM CEV Repsol. And if you haven't watched it, we won't spoil it for you, of course. There, meanwhile, is Dennis Foggia, of course, on the right-hand side, and the other Leopard racing machine. Then, of course, that's not going to be Aaron Palenko as he crashed out on the last lap. But nonetheless, the team very pleased with that. And you can't say you blame them either. Looks like they're in good shape for the rest of the season. For Leopard, if they continue that form, if they're able to get a finish on the board, it'll be good for them. Meanwhile, Dennis Foggia, the man does the double. Unbelievable, or the double, or the triple, rather, I should say, rather. 3 wins in succession. Incredible stuff. Here we go, then wait for the jump into the crowd, and there it is. Let's get some race results, though, for you in that one. Dennis Foggia, the race winner after 17 laps. Kazuki Misaki in second place by just over a tenth of a second. Ayagura with the Asia Talent team's first double podium of the year. Jaume Masia in fourth. Yari Montella a quiet fifth. Jacinto Garcia was sixth. Charlie Nesbitt, his best result of the season by far, in seventh. Sergio Garcia was eighth. Leish View, a good result for him. Some consistency on the board for the Rins 42 rider in ninth place, and some consolidation for the team after Filippo Fellini unfortunately stopped with a technical problem on the warm-up lap. Katamar Udin was a good 10th place, likewise Casadei in 11th, Stefano Nepper 12th, Lorian Faber 13th, Ricardo Rossi 14th, Angel Lorente on the Mir Racing machine was 15th, the final points finisher. De Pasquale 16th, Ruiz in 17th, Josh Owens on the Calex KTM machine in 18th position. And then just outside of that graphic was Ruffino Florido in 19th, Ryan van der Laarmaert in 20th, Lai Van Luchel in 21st, Chandler Cooper in 22nd, and the last of the classified runners, Heng Su, in 23rd. So nearly 20 riders we lost in that race, 19 in total. What a race of attrition that was. 42 started and 23 riders finished the race. Incredible. And good to see the Japanese flag flying high on the podium. If it doesn't get blown away, it'll be somewhat of a miracle. It's so windy here, as you can see in Estoril. Quite incredible it is. But an Italian flag flies in the middle. Here's the interview with Dennis. Great to hear from Dennis Foggia. He's very happy with that. Here's some highlights from the race. It was Raul Fernandez who started from pole position, but leading the way into the first corner. That would all change very, very soon as people got shuffled out a little bit wide and people tried to make their gains. So it would have been, of course, Ayagura who led the way. Meanwhile, there was contact in the first corner with a couple of riders going down. Fortunately, all seemed to be okay. Meanwhile, there was contact further back. Here was a replay of the incident from another angle. Andy Farry caught up in some incident there. He looked very unhappy and then looked very hurt as well. He was stretched away from the circuit. Hopefully he was okay, as we say. Meanwhile, Dennis Foggia started the race in 7th position, made some good gains in the race and ended up getting himself up into the lead very, very quickly indeed. He brought Aaron Polanco and Ayagura with him, and everybody made their way through the opening lap very, very cleanly indeed. And then it would all start to come undone for the other machines, because there we saw mechanical failures taking place left, right and centre. We saw bikes blowing up. We saw crashes aplenty as well in the form of the Estoril Galicia team, with just 2 bikes out of 4 finishing the race. Meanwhile, over the timeline we go with Dennis Foggia. Aaron Polanco looked to try and take the lead, but tried to hold on, but Foggia was very, very menacing indeed. Polanco took the lead for a brief time. Meanwhile, the 3 Asia Talent Team riders of Masaki, Agura and Yuki Kuni battled very nicely until it all came undone, but not before this happened with Raul Fernandez. Fernandez high-siding his way out of turn number 4. Another DNF for the Spanish rider. Meanwhile, Foggia hit the front once again. Looked to try and make an advantage, the Italian, as more riders unfortunately failing to finish. Andrea Cavalieri chucking it down the road on board the number 48 JHK De Glees team. Meanwhile, here came the number 33 of Yuki Kuni. He was up the inside into the interior parabolica and was up into a good position on the podium. Meanwhile, Aaron Polanco was into 2nd place. Good result there for Polanco. Meanwhile, it then became a 5-way scrap for the lead of the race as Yuki Kuni unfortunately crashed out. Then Messia looked very menacing indeed on the Cuna de Campiones machine, but the Asia Talent Team riders weren't going to let them have it lying down out of the interior parabolica, and down the hill we went into turn number 7 as Gabriel Martinez Abrego unfortunately crashed out of the race at turn number 1. But Dennis Foggia led the way from Kazuki Misaki from Jaume Messia. Then came Ayagura and Aaron Polanco. It all looked very, very promising indeed. But then we saw Ruffino Florido chucking it down the road at turn number 9, the off-camber corner, catching him out. But this was the last lap, and Aaron Polanco high-siding his way out of turn number 4. Disaster there for him, but across the line, it was Dennis Foggia taking his 3rd win of the season and his 3rd win in succession. Dabbing Dennis does it again. Unbelievable stuff here in Estoril. A win in Portugal and his 1st win overseas. And the riders now making their way to the podium. So the first time we've seen 2 Asia Talent Team riders on the podium. And Dennis Foggia once again on that middle top step of the rostrum. Fantastic to see. So of course they'll be presented with their trophies. First, the Constructors' Trophy is presented. Member of the CCU of the FIM, Jean Denis. And then we get the Asia Talent Team rider, 3rd place of Ayagura, presented with his trophy. First of all, doesn't know which one to go to, but manages to get there in the end. Ayagura collects his trophy for 3rd position. 2nd place of Kazuki Misaki. What a race it was for him. He put up a valiant effort, but unfortunately, Dennis Foggia just had a little bit more going for him. And there's Jorge Viegas, the FIM board member, presenting the trophy of 2nd place to Kazuki. He'll be very pleased with that, and so will Alberto Puig when I've got to interview him for the press release later. He'll be very happy with that one. But then the race victor for the Junior Moto3 World Championship, and there's Miguel Pinto Luz, the Vice Mayor of Cascais, presenting the trophy to Dennis Foggia. What a race victory it was for the Italian. Unbelievable stuff. And now we'll wait then for the Italian national anthem, which will ring out, of course, over the Circuito de Estoril. First, though, he's collected with his fuel card, and now we wait then for that national anthem. Dennis Foggia, the race victor in the Junior Moto3 World Championship. Once again, the abridged version of the Italian national anthem rings out over Estoril. A great race there for Dennis. Unbelievable stuff here as well. He's so thrilled with that. You could see the delight on his face, and he looked very happy in the interview there, Dakota, as well, didn't he?
Oh, I mean, 3 races in a row. It looked like Eric's face, you know, super happy. Great boost of more confidence for him for this season. And at the moment, you know, he's unstoppable. Here's
the championship then in the Junior Moto3 World Championship. Dennis Foggia, as we know, will lead the way. But look at his advantage. 50 points. 2 race wins to Jeremy Alcoba. He's going to be running away with this one at this rate. Alcoba, despite that DNF, in 2nd place. Garcia, with that consolidating 8th position, is in 3rd position. Jaume Masia also with another strong result inside the top 5 in 4th. Alonso Lopez, unfortunately, failing to finish after that crash. Masaki moves up into 6th place at the expense of Perez, and Yuki Kuni also going down the order as well, and Yuchenko slipping down the order, so big drama there. Ayagura in 10th place, Aaron Palanco in 11th position, then comes Yari Montella. 13th, Rory Skinner, of course, didn't race here this weekend due to that hairline fracture that he's got. Jacito Garcia in 14th, Apiwat Tananon, we hope to see him back in Jerez after the summer break. Lorenzo Petracca, Andy Farid and Aleix Viu in 16th, 17th and 18th position, respectively, on 22 points apiece. So that then is the Moto3 Junior World Championship. The European Talent Cup is up along the way next, as we see. We'll bring you that in just a couple of moments' time, live here from Estoril.